It is crazy how trained our brain are when we see the light, you know? Like I was making love in a field one day during a lightning storm, and there was a big flash of light, and I had to I wrapped it up immediately. You know?
You're like, that's my time.
Let's fucking laugh from the first minute to the last. Mush it up, let's fucking go. Mush it up, let's fucking go. Light up the kush, now it's time to laugh. So hold on to your tush, the one and only Mush Podcast.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is a Tony-less episode, end of an era, unfortunately. Tony's in LA. This is episode 21, and we have a very special guest. I'm your host, one of the hosts, Jeremiah Hughes. We also have Crispin over here.
Hey, I'm here too. It didn't switch. Oh, there it goes.
You gotta keep growing. You gotta keep rolling with it. That's very few word Crispin over there, and then we also have a very special guest. Talk for a little while so it knows to change.
What's
everybody.
up, guys? How you doing? I'm happy to be here.
Shad Foster.
So happy to be here. Oh my god.
Yeah, you weren't super effeminate right there.
Yeah, what happened is that bong rip I did earlier just walloped my brain.
Oh, shit.
So that's what's going on.
Dude,
you guys are gonna have a wild podcast.
I saw
now.
you two walking around the corner. I didn't even know it was y'all. I thought it was a gay pride march behind you. I was like, oh, look at them having a good time.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, we're happy to be here, and we're going to get Tony back on the pod ASAP, but he just got to LA. He's getting grounded. He's having fun and getting into all sorts of mischief. I can't wait to hear about it. I'm sure you guys can't either. But for right now, this is what you get.
It's our
And
first guest.
You better not fucking throw a fit. We're making history. We got guests on the pod now. So, Shad Foster, tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm sure absolutely nobody knows who you are, so go ahead.
Dude, thanks for that fucking killer intro. It's like, hey, what's your credits? Yeah, I don't care, dumbass.
Give me some ad libs, then some credits.
Let's see the one credit. Beat up Roger Lazola.
Why did you beat up Roger Lazola?
I did beat up Roger Lazola. No, I'm a comic from Tacoma. I guess that's a fun place to start. I did do you know what Street Beefs is?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I did a Street Beefs match because they wanted to do a promo.
Who would fight you?
Roger
Oh my God,
Lazola.
that's such a terrible decision. If you look at Shad, you're like, something's off. He's
He
not
might
holding back his punches at all.
No, dude.
He's
He's
waiting.
punching as hard as he can.
Yeah, every time.
And I did.
yeah,
And I
it's like
won.
a baseball bat over your
won.
fucking head.
It was a fun. You guys recorded like little beef videos
Dude,
of like you punching a mannequin. You're like, this is your
before?
face.
And you
Yeah.
were like, hey, let's not try to hurt each other. Or were you just like, no, I'm
No,
winning.
I mean, all right. So what it was Joe Rogers, who's a comic out of Bremerton, wanted to do a show and partner with Street Beefs because Street Beefs is based up there in that area.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, what if we have two comics fight and then we premiere it live and then do a comedy show? And they were like, all right, sick. And then Roger was like, winner headlines.
Oh.
And I was like, all right, tight, cool.
Why would you do
Who
that?
am I fighting? And he goes, Roger Lazola. And I was like, fuck, dude.
Why?
Because Roger Lazola is, so here's the thing. Like, he's a short Mexican dude, but he's also a longshoreman. He's fucking buff.
Oh, that's true.
He's ripped. And I was like, dude, this dude's going to fuck
He's
me
a
up.
fucking blue collar man.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
he's got a handlebar mustache that makes Hulk Hogan look like a pussy.
Also, dude, like the dude boxes, you
Yeah.
know, like he's a little stout boxer.
Well, he's
But not
Mexican is
little.
what you're saying.
Also, for the record, love Roger Lazola. He's one of my homies as well. So when I was saying that, it was in jest.
He looks
by the
scrappy
way.
as fuck.
Don't want no
No, he-
smoke, Roger. But
Roger's one of those dudes that, like, he gets into fights fairly regularly,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he will talk shit while he's beating your ass, but he will also talk shit while getting his ass beat. Like, he will just be like, "Are you gonna beat me up because you're a fucking pussy? Like, you're gonna beat me up, you fucking bitch?" Like, he's that kind of guy, and so
I
like,
respect the fuck out of that.
dude, we
Yeah.
talked about it. We cut like wrestling promos. We're like, because we were on a podcast together, and I was just being a heel. So I was like, "Yeah, dude, you look like a fucking bitch in a dress," like talking shit to him, and he was like.
He was wearing his dress. He's like, bitch,
Dude.
this is my nicest one.
He no-sold me on the entire pod. He was like, what, dude? Why are you being mean? And I was like, yo, dude, you fucking suck. I was pissed. So then, like, I made a video. He made a video of him shadow boxing, and I was like, that looks like shit. And I made a video of me shittily hitting a mannequin. And he's like, your fucking footwork's bullshit, dude. We're just talking shit. And then the only reason I won is because I am so much taller than him. I just threw jabs the entire time, and then I go
smart.
light up his kidneys, and I gassed him out in the second round. And he's been wanting a rematch, and I I hurt myself last year right before the rematch was supposed
Now,
to
is that
happen.
a true hurt, or you just don't want to fight?
No,
him
I
again?
tore a pec. It was actually like I went to the doctor because I thought I broke my ribs. It was pretty fucked up. And
Jesus, how'd you tear it?
dude, fucking being a man, I don't know.
Lifting weights you shouldn't have.
Legitimately ego lifting. That's 100% what I did. But I hurt myself, and so I was like canceled the fight. And then he's been bugging me about a rematch, and I'm like, nah, dude, dude,
one
take
thing
the
you gotta know
L.
about Mexicans, we hold a grudge for life. I still
I know.
remember the fucking asshole who put his finger in my mashed potatoes in 4th grade. If I ever see him on the street, I'm fucking him up.
That's not where I thought that was going.
No, I broke his finger that first day, and I was like, "There's still more," because I was so hungry that day.
That's so funny, dude.
So a reoccurring theme on the show is we have like chimp out moments, you know?
Yeah.
And so like I saw one of the we talked about the ultimate chimp out, which was Uncle Jesse lighting his house and his family on
Oh
fire.
yeah, this guy. He was a little upset.
Dude,
Oh,
he
sorry, I
spazzed
don't know
rough.
if I was supposed to say his name. I'm sorry about that.
We could beep it probably.
just
Can we
beep it,
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to say it. But anyway, point being, I saw another chimp out in downtown Olympia. It was so fun to see, dude. I love seeing chimp outs in the wild.
There's something about loud noise that's just attractive. You're just like, oh, what's happening?
It was so fun. I was with Lexi. We were in line to get a sandwich. And shout out 4th on 5th. Great sandwich place if you're ever in downtown Olympia. It rules. I'll take you there. And then you'll be like, oh, no, this place is really good. But it's downtown Olympia, and it's kooky. And so I just hear screaming, and you're like, oh, all right, roll down the window a little bit and start listening. And it's one of the employees just fucking screaming at a homeless guy. And all I hear, like, I tune in, right? And all I hear is like, the homeless guy's like, "What, you got a problem?" And the guy's like, "I fucking do." And he's like, "Hey man, I'm putting my shoes on." He's like, "Fucking go barefoot. Get the fuck out of here." And I was like, "Oh fuck yeah." I rolled down my window more to like watch.
Dude, hell yeah.
The whole like, "What, you got a problem?" Yeah, I fucking do.
Dude,
like
yeah, when you hit
that's
someone
so
with
funny,
that, they're
dude.
just like, oh no.
That guy was like, "Oh well, I'm sorry." You know, like,
He's like, oh well, I'll get my shoes on and leave.
Dude, homeless people screaming is so. Last night, I was with my girlfriend and we were walking. She lives in Seattle. We have to park far as fuck from her apartment. So we're walking back to her apartment from my truck. And we hear this like blood curdling scream. So we stop and we're sitting there listening and it's silent.
You're like, it's not coming from her, so.
Yeah. But I was like, what the fuck is that? And then we take 2 steps and it starts again. So we stop and it stops. And then we start walking again and it starts.
It's like
And
a soundtrack.
dude, it was insane. So I'm cackling at this, and we get like halfway down the block, and it's still going. Just and I was like, dude, Seattle's
Dude,
wild.
it sucks that you can't like run to go help because you're like, that could just be a crazy person screaming again.
Usually is. It usually no one else was bothered. I was like,
I was up in Seattle last night. Yeah, there was a fucking guy driving by on like one of those scooters, obviously like homeless, like you could tell. Because it was an electric, and he fucking
It was a razor?
Yeah, it was like a straight. He was fucking flipping it and shit. I was like, damn, this guy's got some moves.
That's
But
the
he
sickest
dropped.
bum I've ever seen.
He dropped a bag of shit everywhere, and I have Winco bags in my truck. So I was like, "Hey, like, do you want one of these bags? I think it'll hold up better." And he's like, "I don't need a bag. If I need one, I'll get one." And I was like, "Well, you need a better fucking attitude. Fuck you, then." And I chipped out a little bit because I was like really annoyed because I was like, "Let me be helpful."
Yeah.
And then you just turn that into fucking malice.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you guys about the fucking DMV. That was a double chimp moment. It was crazy.
Were you at the DMV?
I was
Double
at the
chimp
DMV.
chocolate chip,
Dude, double chimp. So all right. So I have a flight coming up next week, and I've been trying to get my enhanced ID because I just ordered my passport. And when you order your passport, you have to send in your birth certificate and
A lot of shit.
Yeah, like a bunch of shit. But they take the documents and all these documents you need for your enhanced ID. So this is my 3rd trip to the DMV because I'm like, I need all this shit. And I was like, I ordered a new birth certificate. I have copies of my name change paperwork because I changed my last name when I was a kid. And I was like, I've got everything. I'm good to go.
I wanna
They
know,
named him
yeah.
Chad Eugene Gay.
Chad gonna be homo.
Shad Not Funny Foster was my name.
That's a great comic name, though. How is he? He's not funny. He's
not funny.
He's a good guy.
It's in the name.
The
Every
parentheses
time you
came on
miss
my
a
birth
joke, you're
certificate.
just like, you saw the last name. You know what you were paying for, $10.
You know what I am, dumbass. But I was like, I go in, it's crowded as fuck because everyone's trying to get enhanced IDs right now because you need one to fly out of Washington. So
Is that
yeah,
true?
yes, brother. You need a passport or it's called Real ID because you don't need to be a naturalized citizen to get a driver's license here. So
Oh,
like, yeah,
shit. I gotta
it's-
get one too then. I only have a
do.
CDL.
that might work. Check your license. A CDL might work.
No,
I don't know.
that's why you
me
can't get
onto
on base.
Yeah, military base wouldn't let me in.
And you need a real ID. That's what they're talking about, is a real
Get
ID.
a passport.
They were like,
It's
you
the way
look
to
like
go.
you belong here, but you don't. I was like, all right.
go back to where you came from.
Go on, scat. Shoot. Get
Go
out
on,
of here.
get. But yeah, so like big line is super crowded. I finally get inside. I sit down, and there's this guy about four chairs from me who's slumped over in his chair, and I was like,
You throw a rock at him or anything?
nah, dude, he leans too far forward, and they're those shitty plastic chairs with like the H frame,
Nice.
and it slips out from under him and it hits the ground. I turned because I was like, oh, someone took a spill, so I'm having a good time. The Asian family next to me all scoots over one seat to get away from this guy, and he isn't getting up. He's like slumped over on the floor, and I was like, are we gonna do anything? What's going on here? And he finally like sits up and he turns, he looks at the Asian dude, and he goes, what time is it? And the guy's like,
He's like, hammer time?
and he's like, what time is it? And he like takes his phone out. He's like, 3:15. He's like, 3:15. And he gets up and he starts walking up to windows, and he finds one that doesn't have a person in it. He just walks up and he's like, can I help you? And he just goes, ID. And the lady's like, what's your number? And he's like, 320. And she like starts clicking away, and then his number comes up on the screen. So he's called over to another window. He just goes out there and starts shouting at her. I'm having a great time at this. I don't know what happened to him. Actually,
Yeah.
he ended up in an
Well,
ambulance.
he probably hit his fucking head on the ground. He's probably concussed.
Dude, it was now he was for sure on something. But then I get up to the window and I'm like, I tell the lady what I need. She's like, do you have your fucking birth certificate? Do you have a piece of mail? I'm like, bam, bam, here you go. And I hand her my name change paperwork. She's like, great, stand in front of the camera. We're going to take a picture for you. I was like, let's go. We're in here. And as I take my glasses off and stand in front of the camera, she goes, hold on. And I was like, what's happening right now? And she goes, what is this? And she holds up my name change paperwork. And I was like, it's fucking name change paperwork. And she goes, this isn't a real copy. This is a photocopy. And I was like, it was good enough for the State Department of the federal government.
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah, we have different rules here. You need to have a certified copy. And I was like, are you telling me that the Department of Motor Vehicles of Washington State has higher standards than the federal fucking
You're
government?
like, I know you don't have standards. You work here.
I was like, I just paid $300 for a book that says I can go to any country, and you guys have higher requirements for me to get a piece of plastic to fly in the country. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, fucking cool. And I spazzed. I was so upset. I stormed out, get in my truck, and I pull
Push
my
the guy down again. You're like,
Dude, get out of here, dumbass. No, he was in the ambulance at this time. And I was like, fucking nerd, fucking die, idiot.
Handle your drugs like a real man,
Dude,
dumbass.
yeah, I was like, I'm on fucking fentanyl right now, pussy.
fucking me barely spazzing.
Dude,
He's just freaking out. He's like, I'm on fentanyl.
I get in my truck and I'm in the middle of typing out this fucking paragraph of a text to my girlfriend about how fucking bullshit the DOL is. I'm pissed. And I get an email. And it was like, do not reply at statedepartment.gov. And I was like, clicked on it and it was like, your passport has shipped. Will arrive Saturday. I was like, let's go. All right. So I'm like, I'm still seething, but I'm like backspacing this text. Like,
Turns out they're pretty efficient. I was
dude,
getting out of hand.
I was so pissed. I was so upset. I was like, am I
Yeah.
going to make my fucking flight?
So you can fly now.
I can fly.
That's fucking crazy. I'm gonna have to get a fucking passport. I got to fly to Texas soon.
Yeah, it'd be faster to get an enhanced ID for sure.
Might be faster for you to walk. You look like you're on a no-fly list.
Dude,
So
yeah. They fucking check my bags every time, and I always have a knife.
you're like, I'm
I don't wanna
randomly
let them down.
selected.
He's either Ahmed or Amigo. I can't tell.
Yeah. Could be a Bruno, maybe a Mateo.
He's MS Al Qaeda.
Oh yeah, I got kind of shitty with someone yesterday. I was getting I took my truck in for an oil change because it's a Toyota Tacoma, so it holds high value. So I want everything on record of all the maintenance and everything. Just keeps the resale value. Also, I have no interest in changing the oil myself.
Yeah, it's a fucking hassle.
Whatever. So I buy like big packages of them, like 5 at a time, and it makes it pretty fucking cheap, honestly. So I go in there, and it seems like every fucking time I go in there, I prepay for these so I don't have to pay it. And it's like a subtle thing that they're like, oh, we need like $150 extra every single fucking time.
It's called a business.
I get it. I drive this truck a lot. I have to maintenance it. Otherwise, it's going to fucking fall apart. So I go in and the dude says, your alignment's off. Which I buy because, I drive a truck and sometimes I fucking hit a curb. I don't give a shit, I'll fucking take it. He's been with me sometimes. I'm like, I don't give a fuck,
He does just like sometimes get lady brain and not see curves, and you'll just rail them, dude.
Like, you just hit a curve like that was a person.
He's like, no, dude,
Yeah, I
that
don't
was on
give a
purpose.
shit.
I was making this corner. Don't even worry about it, pussy. Like
Yeah,
he bros out immediately. It's
I
very
don't give
funny.
a fuck. Yeah, so I bought it. I was like, cool. But I originally was going to get like the filters swapped out or whatever, you know? And I was like, because I told him, I was like, yeah, I haven't ever swapped out these filters. And he's like, yeah, we'll fucking do that. You know, 50
the oil
bucks a piece. Or no, the filters for the cabin and the engine and
okay,
shit.
okay.
The
you
air
know?
filter, dude.
Yeah.
Your truck's just been struggling to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It breathes like you. Dude,
For full, yeah.
Hughes was like, I think I'm getting better from smoking. See? It's like, no.
Yeah, dude. I don't even need an inhaler anymore. No, I still do. Dealership.
Sorry, I derailed that. My bad.
You're good.
dude.
You're good.
Got 2 derailers now.
I'm like honest with the guy. I'm like, well, if it needs an alignment, like I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna do one of the two things. Which one doesn't need more? And he's like, well, the alignment, like you can change the filters, but like you can't realign your tires, you know. So we should probably do that. It's about the same cost. So I'm like, all right, whatever, dude, do
The
that.
Same cost.
Well,
You got a
around,
banging
yeah.
deal on that alignment, or they are gouging you on the filters.
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 I wonder if they gave you a deal because you're there all the time. They're like, he seems all right. How do they fix the alignment? Did they hit it with a hammer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
They
I'm
crash
not.
it into a curb on the other side.
So it lines up.
I'm handy with houses, not cars. I never took time to really learn much. I can switch a tire. I can change oil.
That's
Like
all
I don't
you
really
need.
care
Yeah.
much to do much more.
I'm handy with both, dude. That's why God took my dad. He knew if I had a dad, I'd be
You'd
too
be too
manly. I'd be
powerful, dude.
too manly, dude.
Be like Henry Cavill, dude.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, dude, one of the two has to. I was upfront that I don't have a lot of money, right? And so I went to go pick up the truck. This is the way he started the conversation, which pissed me off, right? Like, I go to pick up the truck, and he goes, yeah, and he holds up, like, a piece of paper, and he goes, what I'm going to want to do next on your truck is I'm going to want to change the front brakes. You see how it's in the yellow? Sometimes you want to change it in the yellow before it gets to the red because it'll fuck up your calipers. And I was like, mm-hmm. And he's like, and you got drum brakes in the back, and it says that they're good, but you'd want to get on top of that. I'd like to do that before the next time you get a service.
Like,
And
I
I'm-
don't give a fuck
And I
what you
squint
like.
my eyes at him, and I do this. I go, I bet you would. Can I just pay for this and leave? And he was like, oh. He's like, yeah, I'm so sorry, sir, and got like shitty. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to hear your fucking sales pitch
Yeah.
after in the beginning I told you I couldn't afford engine filters.
Yeah.
It is really
And then he's like, by the way, yeah, that's gonna be an extra $400 before the next time you get an oil change that you paid for. I'm like, go fuck yourself, Ian. Go fuck yourself, Ian from fucking Toyota of Olympia. Go fuck yourself.
It's
That was
shitty
bullshit.
When you turn down somebody's sale and they get shitty with you, it's like, it's not my fault. You don't know how to fucking sell things, dude.
Yeah, dude, to being that up front, opening the conversation with what I want to do next to your truck. Go fuck yourself,
Yeah, I don't
dude.
give a shit
Also-
what you want to do.
Also, pick your sales, dude. You can't be pitching sales to the guy who came in and went, hey, just so you know, I'm poor.
Yeah.
I just want the bare minimum. Like,
Like, do you think I'm hiding money from you?
I worked. Yeah, it's all under his mattress.
I had a bong in my arm with a fucking fanny pack around me that had like 3 ounces of weed in it. I don't have a lot of money. You know, that's what I spend
Maybe
my
he saw
money
the bong.
on.
He's like, that's a nice bong. This guy's lying.
That's all I have. Is a
He was
truck and
probably
a bong.
thinking you're gonna go sell the 3 ounces of weed to pay for your fucking oil change, dude.
I should have. I smoked it all. I was sad.
I know.
Most people get high and like come back in a better mood. Jeremiah comes back and he's like, I'm fucking poor.
furious. I'm out
Shut
of
up.
weed.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, dude, I hate salesmen, dude. I used to be one, so I know how much I should hate them. It's a lot. They're always fine. I would like to maybe see you in this today. Like, I don't give a shit. When the fuck am I going to see you again?
Always talking about what you want.
Yeah.
Never talking about what I want.
He could have pitched it so much better. He could have just been like, hey, like your brakes are getting low. They're in the yellow. Sometimes it's good to change them, but you could wait.
I see you drive a lot, and it is, you know, safety's number one. I'm sure you picked a reliable vehicle like this because you like value safety.
like, I see you hit a lot
and
of
once it
curbs.
gets to yellow, you know, like honestly, like you're putting your own safety in jeopardy. Like something like that. Cool. Now we're talking.
Yeah, you
What
care
I
about
want to
me.
do next. You're getting cocky, Ian, from Toyota to Olympia. What the fuck
He
are
probably
you
heard
talking
one
about?
of the fucking salesmen talk like that, and he's just like, that's how it's done.
Dude, I'm realizing right now, that if Jeremiah had a little bit less of a conscience, he would be a vicious salesman.
Oh, dude, I would
You
wreck,
just
yeah.
sold me brakes.
Yeah.
I just know you would never do that to somebody because you're like, yeah, they said they don't have money. But like, if you just didn't care a little bit more,
Dude,
you could shark
You
some
make
people.
so much money selling cars.
Yeah, dude. I actually almost became a car salesman when I had dreads, but they said I had to cut my hair, and I was like, I'm not cutting my hair to hawk your
You're like, so I got to
Toyotas.
sell cars and not get ladies? No,
Dude,
thanks.
If I walked onto a car lot and Jeremiah with dreads was like, "What's up? What can I put you in today?" I'd be like, "Fuck it, get out of here."
No, dude, I wouldn't say, what can I put you in today? I'd riz you up like I just did.
Dude,
He'd
if
fucking hand you a
311
joint. He'd be like, yo, let's get you a car.
I'm like, you seem cool as fuck, dude. What's up, bro? I like your tattoos.
311 showed up and tried to put me in a car, I'd fucking kill
You're
myself
like, is
on
that
that
Bradley
lot.
Cooper's haircut? That's crazy.
Here's the thing. If you met me with dreads, you wouldn't think, holy shit, this is a douchebag. You'd see me, you'd hear me,
Yeah.
and then 5 minutes later, you'd forget I had dreads.
I'd judge you first. I'd judge you
You'd
first.
judge immediately, and then you'd feel bad for judging me, and you'd be like, you know what? I like this guy.
I'd feel bad in like 2 weeks. I wouldn't feel bad immediately.
Well, that's because you're a bad person.
Yeah,
You would have
100%.
the under 20, under 25 or maybe 24-year-old market, you would murder because they'd be like, this
I'm
dude's got
telling you, dude.
dreads.
I was also under 25.
You would
so
sell a lot of Mustangs for sure.
hell yeah, and trucks.
No.
Yeah, hell yeah.
trucks.
Mustangs to
You
military
guys
dudes.
didn't know me at the time. I exuded charisma. It was fun.
that was one of the good ones.
I was-
It was
it
leaking out of
ruled.
me, dude.
It ruled, dude. I was leaking everywhere.
I was dripping.
Dripping with Riz, dude.
They called me the Rizzler before it was on TikTok. That's how
dude.
good I
It's
was.
just Jeremiah with dreads doing this.
Yeah, just always thinking about something important. He's like,
Just
yeah.
mewing.
No, he wouldn't be rubbing his chin. He'd be rubbing his dreads. He's like, this one's got good thoughts.
He's twisting him.
You know, one of my favorite.
like he's a teenage girl on the phone. He's like,
Oh,
so
dude.
so what kind of car are we looking for right now?
If I could have
just being
watched,
coy. Can you imagine like having that power look and then being coy? At one point, I had dreads to like here and a full like pitcher mustache, just like a Shad Foster style mustache, and I was like rocking basketball shorts, and someone caught me looking like that, and they're like, "What the fuck are you?" And I was
that was
like,
him at the interview for the fucking sales job.
yeah, they're just like,
I was
oh,
like,
Jesus.
I'm just fucking doing it, dude. Like I already have my next facial hair planned for after my surgery, and it's gonna blow people's minds.
Dude,
You
are you
gonna
doing
get
a
a full beard?
Hogan? You doing a Hoagie?
I can't reveal it yet.
Dude, it's a
Yeah.
Hogan.
I
bet
think he's
it's a
going
Hogan.
Jack Sparrow. Just fucking mustache, some shit happening down here.
Little
That would
goatee
be
thing.
nice.
Yeah.
He starts wearing fake bullshit, perfectly round glasses too.
Walking funny.
I just rip off Johnny Depp and have 8 bandana bracelets on each arm.
Some girl is gonna shit in your bed in a couple of years, dude.
He cuts off his own finger.
Dude, I would have loved
I
to have been
start
around.
drunk walking around even though I'm sober. They're like, "What's your
because he's used to
fucking?"
the sea.
he develops a coke problem.
I like that they made that excuse for Johnny. They're like, yeah, he's not fucking hammered on rum every fucking movie. Technically, he's just used to the ocean because he's a seaman.
He's got semen.
Fun story about Johnny Depp when he was filming Edward Scissorhands. There's a scene. Jeremiah doesn't know this. He doesn't watch movies. He's dumb.
Movies suck.
But there's a scene at the end of the movie where Johnny's like running away, and they had to reshoot it like 6 or 7 times, and every time in between takes he would just be puking in the bushes. And like in the behind the scenes, they're like, yeah, he just hated running. He's like, no, dude, I was so high on cocaine, I was fucked up the entire shoot. What are you talking about?
I don't know anybody who's ever been so high on cocaine they throw up.
Have you ever
Seems
ran
weird.
on cocaine?
Yeah, I fucking so fast. Breaking barriers, dude. Yo, I would get to a certain speed here. I'm like, got it. 8 ball kicking in.
You're sonic booming.
That's your knees popping.
Yeah, dude. My ligaments giving out.
They're separating.
He's like, "That's right. That's the 5th gear."
All my muscles are so dehydrated, they're just snapping under the force of my speed.
Your mouth is just cat tongue. You're just so
You know, isn't
dry.
it weird you don't get cotton mouth on cocaine?
Yeah, because you're drinking booze the whole time. You get it
but
the
like,
next morning.
when you smoke weed and you drink, I feel like you still get cotton mouth.
That's because it's a different drug, buddy.
Yeah.
It does different stuff.
Yeah, your mouth dries out
You
on
ever notice
cocaine
that,
because
like,
you're
when you
talking.
smoke weed, you don't make business plans?
True.
Dude, you should. Dude,
No,
those business plans kick off.
I
right.
was scheming on the way here, dude. I was smoking, scheming, dude. I came up with a couple big money moves.
Let's
Are they
hear 'em.
sketch ideas?
No.
'Cause that's normally what I end up with.
He's
When
like, guys, it's a sequence of different skits tied together.
It's a sequence of nasty political moves that'll put me to the top of Aberdeen government.
That's true. That's probably not that
And then
hard
I'll
to do.
own all of the buildings.
You're gonna have to grow your dreads back for this.
And then I'm going to push all the homeless people out and make a utopia.
Good
Jeremiah and
luck, dude.
I,
They've been trying to push them out. It's
No, they
not
don't give a
working.
shit.
They are very crafty.
The city of Aberdeen does not give a fuck.
No,
If you wanted to, I got a plan.
I do want to hear this plan, but I forgot.
I'm
to
not
going to
put it out on the airwaves, but
okay.
we'll talk off
I'm
air.
gonna-
We'll talk off air.
I'm gonna steal Aberdeen.
There was a fucking guy outside. I think it was like last night. I can't remember when it was, but he was outside and he kept repeatedly throwing stuff into the street and then going to pick it up, trying to stop cars. And then when they'd be like honk or something, he'd be like, "Hey, do you have any money?" I was like, "That's nice,
Dude, that's
Was that you?
yeah. That's what I do on Wednesdays. No, there's a dude I heard about a story. He was like putting like televisions in the middle of this road, and he'd be parked on the side, and people would stop, or they'd run it over and get a flat, and he'd be like, "Do you want help?" And he's like, dude, he just like kept doing that. It was like a whole news story. I just read about it.
That's
I was
crazy.
Very
Wait,
stoned.
so they would run. How many TVs did he have?
Oh, I don't know. A TV was one of them, but like he would just like throw shit in the road in this like really dark fucking section of the road. People would run it over and get a flat, or they'd pull over because they saw it, and he'd be like, Do you guys need a ride? Do you want to get in my car?" And then like
Jesus.
there was a news story, and he called pretending to be a cop, and he was like, "You guys have to quit running this news story." And they were like, "We know who you are, you
He's
dumb
like,
ass.
listen to
We
your
have-
voice, dude. You sound
We
like
have caller ID, you fucking dumb bitch."
you sound like Buffalo Bill, dude. It's pretty obvious to pick you out.
Yeah, that was
I respect the hustle.
Yeah. Well, what did he get out of it? Was he just trying to kidnap him?
Dude, I don't know if he was trying to kidnap him, make
Maybe he
friends.
just wanted people to like him. You know,
That's-
he's like, that guy helped me out. He's a good guy.
I think
Save
it
the
was
cat.
that.
Save the cat, dude. Do you know Save the Cat?
No,
It's one of my favorite things.
things.
It's a book that they wrote.
I heard someone reference Save the Cat, but they were talking about ducks, and they said that was his Save the Duck moment. And I was like, I know Save the Cat.
Dude, it's a really good, it's a screenwriting book this guy wrote, which some people are like fucking argue about. But the whole premise of it is like you have to have a save the cat moment for any character. So that even if they're about to like murder people in a bank, if they save a cat first, you're like, I mean, I know he killed all those people, but like he did save that cat.
Oh.
And you're invested in
John
him.
Wick.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so when writing an antagonist protagonist,
Yeah. Any character, you got to build that investment right up the front. That's why, like, if you watch any movie, the first 15 minutes is always the home life, the relationship life, and like the work life, all in like that crunch time. And they have to do something good within that moment for you to like them, unless it's like fucking hobo
just
with a shotgun.
good character building.
Yeah.
this is what this. Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
but me and Dean talked about this because we were talking about, like, I was telling him, like, that's how I build my sets. Is I have a good moment in the beginning, and then I can just say whatever the fuck I want.
It looks like Olipop sponsored us
I
in that
wish,
last
dude.
frame. If you guys backwards, what's back forward? What's the backspace? Reverse backwards?
Rewind.
Rewind.
Dude, we're playing Taboo right now.
Holy
This is
shit!
What's the opposite of fast forward? If you guys go back like 30 seconds, it's right there. Say something, Chris.
Oh, let's see.
Perfect advertising.
Hold
Dude,
it
I
up, hit
fucking
it
love
right
them.
by your head real quick, and then just everybody go ahead and use code MUSH at olipop.com.
Yeah. Also, you will get Ollipops in 2 to 3 weeks.
You're not actually going to get a discount. Just type it into the discount code, and then if it errors out, that's fine. Pay
Just
full
make
price.
them think it's a code, so they put it in eventually. After like 700 people put this fucking code in here, and
700.
they're not getting anything.
in 10 years.
Wild move to come on a podcast and mispronounce a name, by the way.
Oh, what is that? Ollipop?
No,
What do you
he
call
said mush. He said mush.
Oh,
Did I say mush?
Yeah.
I think it's bilingual.
It's
fine.
mush.
It's bilingual. So I was speaking Spanish, dumbass.
Yeah. What are you from the East Coast? No, I had a fun moment where I brought that up to segue because I'm such a good podcaster into a mishap I had about a mispronunciation on a show. Really embarrassing. I don't know if I told you about this, but I was doing I don't want to disclose where because I don't want to blow up my spot. I was opening for
The same
somebody.
sandwich shop.
I was opening for a comedian, and I was not stoked on the gig. So I went out to my car in between comics after I did my set and had like a few airplane shots. I was like, whatever, dude. I'm just gonna cruise around and kill time. And when I went up to go bring up the headliner, I fucking said the complete wrong name. Total wrong name. Dude's if the dude's name was like Campbell Johnson, I was like, Jeff Johnson. And like everyone's like, yeah, I said the complete wrong first name. I got the last name perfect. And then they were like, yeah, because no one knows who the fuck he is. And I heard him saying something and they all stopped clapping. And I was like, come on, keep it going for Gamble, everybody. The wrong fucking name. And then they were like, yeah. And he's like saying something. He gets closer and he's like, it's Jeff or like whatever it was. And I was like, Jeff Johnson, everybody, you know? And
They're
he was
like,
like,
"There's two of them?"
he was like, and then he like went up there and he was like, wow, dude, that sucks. He totally got my name wrong. And everyone laughed. And then he like played it off. He's like, I'm kidding. I pranked him before. And so I took that moment to go up to the booker and I was like, that was crazy. He just pranked me. Did you see that? And he was like, he really did that? And I was like, yeah, dude, I asked what his name was. And he said, yeah. And then I went up there and said, that's crazy. And he was like, that's hilarious. Totally got out of it.
Dude, that's the way to go. If you biff a show, you gotta
You gotta act like it's a bit.
you gotta hit the producer
They're
first.
just like, all these comics are such
You gotta go up to the
rascals.
producer and be like, that was hilarious. Huh?
That's so funny, dude.
that was a bit.
I did that last night.
I'm such a rascal, dude. You never know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I'm a little scoundrel.
Dude, I did that
little
last
rascal.
fucking night. I was doing 30 minutes and I was supposed to get a light at 25 and I see a light and I was like, fucking time is it? And I look down and it says I'm at like 20 and I was like, they're lighting me early. Okay. So I just like wrap up and I do my last punchline. I turn, I look, I don't see the host anywhere. And so I was like, all right, guys, come buy some merch out of this. And who's excited for the headliner? Like, yeah, make some noise for your host. And I see him running up. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? Like, did I go way under or something? Did I like think I did 5 more and then I only did 2? And I look at my phone and I was like, huh. And I look at him and I was like, did I go under? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, oh shit, my bad, dude. I get off stage and I go to the booker and I realize what happened because as I walked by, I see a lady where the light came from. She had taken a picture of me with the flash on.
Dude, that's so fucking distracting.
Yeah. And that's the second time it's ever happened to me. The first time it was a dope show. It was my high set. I'm a minute in and I see it and I was like, all right, guys, gotta go. And the host was like, what the fuck? And I ended up coming back out. But like, I had an excuse that time. This time it was just a dark room. And I was just like, I saw a light and I was like, time to get off stage. I went right up to the booker. I was
It's
like,
crazy
dude.
how trained our brains are for like, if you see a light, you wrap the fuck up. That
Yeah.
happened to me. Yeah. I was at a show and I was performing and me and the booker had talked. It was like a rough room. And I was like, well, let's have a signal. If you do this, I fucking know to get the hell off the stage. I'm not doing well or something because it was like a crazy room anyways. And she took a picture and I saw the flash and I was like, damn, I thought I was doing all right. Like, I must fucking suck. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get out of here. And she was like waving at me. And I thought she was doing this, her hand
You're
symbol.
like, I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going. I was like, don't worry about it. And then she was trying to cover her phone because her fucking text went off and it was flashing the light
and she
as
has
she was
like
taking a picture. Yeah. And so she was trying to cover her phone, but I thought she was giving me the fucking signal. And then she paid me anyways, full fucking markup for it. So I was like, all right.
It
But I
is
felt
crazy.
bad.
It is crazy how trained our brain are when we see the light. You know,
Yeah.
like I was making love in a field one day during a lightning storm, and there was a big flash of light,
Yeah,
and I had
gotta
to
wrap up.
I wrapped it up immediately. You know?
You're like, that's my time.
Yeah, dude. All right, you guys have been great.
If you take a picture of me and we're out and about, dude, if there's a flash, I'm leaving. Done. My time's over.
I mean, honestly, the true moral of the story is, people, if you're going to take a fucking picture at a comedy show, turn the goddamn flash
like,
off or you're
dude,
going
come
to
on.
derail
Maybe
everything.
the back of all these people's fucking heads.
Yeah.
Come
Maybe
on.
this is a crazy thought. Maybe keep your phone away.
Yeah, maybe
keep your-
live in the moment, dumbass.
Yeah, no one cares about your
Live in
shitty
the
picture.
moment. Maybe just invigorate your life with moments instead of your phone. I love that, dude.
You don't need a picture of everything, all right, stupid?
I will say though, sometimes I like go through my pictures of my phone and I'm like, fuck, I wish I had more pictures of this stuff.
I feel like that a lot, but then I also find pictures that I forgot I took, and I'm like, dude, hell yeah, drunk me knew that this is going to be a treat in 4 days.
Oh yeah, I have a picture I send to people to make them laugh. I sent it to Tony. He saved it. It's I shaved this really hard handlebar mustache when I was like shaving my beard. And then I took like the worst picture. It looks like a mugshot almost, but like a mugshot of a guy who just got caught doing something he shouldn't have.
Dude.
And,
I love taking goofy photos
yeah.
like that and giving people blackmail. You know,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
so fun.
I've got a good one of
There's
you,
that,
actually.
there's that photo of me with dreads and a mustache and basketball
Oh, he's,
shorts.
like,
there's a
scooting by.
photo of me floating around.
He looks like Bigfoot walking in an apartment. He's like,
Yeah.
I've got a good picture of you, brother.
Yeah. Oh, is that the one you made with AI?
sure is the
oh
one
yeah,
I
Crispin
made.
will love this. That's funny.
Dude,
Yeah.
these AI photos are really fucking hitting all of us at some point.
Bro.
Oh,
This
so
This is a nasty thing to do.
Let me see if the camera can. It's Jeremiah in a fucking dress. I asked ChatGPT
dude, you got
today.
some nice shoulders on you. Those don't look bad.
I know he's
Fills
built
out
like
the
an
dress.
O lineman, but he's got tits, dude. It rocks. I have like 4
I'm
of
built
them.
like my aunt Keena, God bless her.
Yeah,
dude.
so you could
she
use a
bucked
shoulder
hay.
massage.
She bucked hay and would slow dance with you.
Holy shit! Is
Yeah.
that the massage one?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Dude.
Yeah, with those shoulders, you need a massage. Dude. Those
Speaking
are
of
rusty.
wide shoulders, I know you don't watch movies because you suck. Have you seen Sinners?
Movie suck.
Oh no, actually, watching it today.
Dude, all right.
It's on my fucking list.
I almost watched the Looney Tunes movie.
There's a lady in there. We're gonna get a little crass for a second here because there's a lady in there. She's got big shoulders, but she also has the biggest set of fucking bazoongas I've ever
Well, that's
seen
why
in
her
my
shoulders are
life.
so big. You need support.
Brother. First of all, it is a good movie. I did enjoy it a lot. Jeremiah would hate it. He hates vampires.
Vampires suck.
Vampires are the best.
Dude, vampires
I mean,
suck
I'd
is the
rather- I'd
corniest
rather-
thing I've ever heard you say.
I'd rather be a werewolf, but vampires are pretty cool.
No, dude, it is a rad movie. But yeah, this like you see this lady and it shows her like profile first, and I was like,
Jesus,
God
yeah.
damn, what are those? Dude, I leaned over to my girlfriend. I was like, I get it.
I would fight vampires for her too.
I understand what's going on right now. This is understandable.
Dude, any Michael B. Jordan movie, there's going to be like an equally beautiful woman across from him because it's like, this guy's fucking hot.
he plays 2
We need a
characters.
lady. Does
He's
he?
got 2 hot ladies, dude.
Oh my God. Have you watched fucking Small Favor? I can't remember what the name of it is.
Small favor.
It's like, yeah, it's called like, it's something
Starring
weird.
Brock Torano.
No, but like part 2, Big Favor, starring B. White.
They redo the movie
Because
Twins.
he has a huge hog, folks.
Yeah, it's fucking massive. It's a hassle.
Have you seen his penis?
Dude, well, he
Huge.
came up to a fucking counter that was like waist height, and it like moved all the paperwork.
Are we
out
still
of the
talking
way.
about Brock?
No, we're talking about dude. What is a footstool? No, I saw Brandon White's wiener, dude. It was huge. It looked like someone wrapped a milk bone in bacon.
Yeah, he can't wear. Dude, it's an Olipop size. Yeah, it's fresh.
Under what context did
it's
you see his
fresh
wiener?
cola.
Dude, all the time.
Dude, he's seen a lot of people naked. You'd be surprised how
Yeah,
many
I've seen you naked. You don't even know it.
That's a good point. Dude.
Yeah.
I do.
He
I
just
am.
built you on AI.
I am reckless in my. I have an
Your,
apartment window.
your penis is like you. It's long and skinny.
True.
but
Yeah.
it looks like it works hard.
It also has tattoos.
Yeah, it has a hell of a work ethic, though.
carries a gun,
And your
too.
penis also beat the shit out of Roger Lazola.
That wasn't a left jab at all. It was just my thong.
You're fucking jabbing up left. You're cock slapping on the south.
It's working the
Oh
body.
no! So this fucking movie, there's a part where you have 2 of the same actor or actress, whatever the fuck you call them now, and it's like a scene that's getting weird, and you're like, well, this is weird, but I'm sure it's not going to get weirder. And then the sister who's obsessed with the other one is like, you know, if you feel good, I feel good. And then you're like, no way. And then it goes there, and you're like, she's pretty hot. So this is actually a really hot scene. Like this fucking CGI.
She banging herself?
Yeah. But they don't show anything, but it's very insinuated. There's like one kiss, and I was like, that's good enough.
They're banging like someone's banging a clone of
No,
themselves.
the
Pretty
twins.
much,
They're
yeah.
twins.
They're
They're
like
like banging.
twins, yeah.
Creepy, dude.
Twins and banging is weirder than clones and banging.
Yeah, clones
I
and
don't
banging
know.
is almost okay.
Yeah, clones-
is all right.
It's
I'd
the
give
same
my clone a
genetic
handy.
body. It's a different soul.
I'd like give myself like a fucking how's it going, Fred? You
What
know,
if you watch yourself finish and you hated it, and you'd be like,
it's the
damn.
same dick. Dude.
Actually-
No, but
Actually-
like
Well,
you
you
just don't
don't
like.
get- no. You go like middle school rules where it's a dark room and you got a pillow in between you guys. you
Yeah.
know?
Actually, I don't think it's at all gay to bang yourself.
No,
As a clone?
that's what I'm
It's-
saying. It's clone rules.
it's-
Wait,
sure,
are
yeah,
you taking it or giving it?
Does it matter?
No, it's a hand.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I would
It's-
not.
it's
I would not
mutual.
go past handy. You
Dude,
can't blow your clone.
who-
That's,
you could 69
that's gay-
yourself.
That's gay.
But who can make you come as fast as you, dude? You're just jerking
I've
yourself
never
off.
blown myself. I probably
Well, I'm
would.
not
it would-
saying blow,
I
I'm
would have
saying-
to figure it out.
Would you
We're talking
69
hand
your
shit.
That's what I'm
Who's
saying.
blow?
Well,
Yeah.
you said fuck a clone.
So Shad, you would 69 with your clone.
No, I don't know how to suck a dick, dude. It'd be terrible for
Well,
both
you could
of us.
learn with yourself. You had to
Well, I
learn
mean,
to give a
are
hand
you,
job.
Are you trying to
No, I
get?
learned to
Are you
jerk
trying to
off.
get good at blowing people?
Well, if you're gonna like, no, you don't want to upset yourself.
He's backpedaling, folks.
No, I'm saying like you don't want to upset yourself
He's
and
like,
be
no,
bad
I mean,
at blowies.
I wouldn't either. I was just wondering.
I'm just saying.
I'm
you-
just curious if
well,
you.
okay, you know
I'm just
how to.
curious
you
if
would
you're.
you would eat your own ass. I could
I
tell.
would eat my own ass for sure.
Dude, he was walking that that up so he could be like, "You're gay," and then he was
No,
just
no,
like,
no, I don't. You said it's not gay. I'm on your side.
"Now you are."
what
You
I'm
were
saying
It's
is-
like totally not gay. I would 69
No, no,
myself.
you had to learn to give a hand job to jerk off. So you would
What's
have
the
to learn.
difference between giving a hand job and jerking off?
No,
We're
there's
losing
not.
Nuck really fast on this.
Looks like I've done all this. I don't know.
Nuck's like, dude, this is fucking beyond my pay grade. Listen to a bunch of fucking honkies talk about fucking
We're
their
gonna hear the word
clones.
clone. It's just gonna cut to 10 minutes later. It's like, what happened?
Just dumps the middle of the podcast.
Stay Hydrated Studios does not approve this message,
No.
by the way.
No, they're not a sponsor of this current segment of the pod.
Yeah. We may be dropped after this episode for saying
Wait,
too much gay shit.
Is there anybody you would clone, like to just have as a friend?
to clone?
Wait,
Yeah.
like
That's a real psychopath
is
That's what I'm
question.
saying.
is this person still alive?
Yes.
I would just befriend that person.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
terrible.
that's
No,
crazy.
but like,
Yes,
you could like
that's
clone
wild.
a famous person
He's
and then
got a
just be like,
Jeremiah home. It just forced
like,
Post
bro-
Malone to be your friend. It's like, but he's not famous.
He's like a little fucked up too. He just keeps shivering the whole time.
he's like, stop calling me Pre Malone.
You don't get any of the benefits of having a famous friend. You're just hanging out with a guy that
No,
you
but you
grew
could
in your
clone
basement.
Hughes and then make him grow his dreads back. Be like, now you're gonna sell cars.
Dude, you just want an action figure. That's
Yeah, I
what
do,
you
yeah.
want. You
I
just
want a Buzz Lightyear,
You
dude.
want a big action figure that you can fucking make play cowboys and Indians with
I'm like,
you.
fuck, this one's got bad knees too. Shit.
I would probably clone my friend Todd, and I would name the clone Retod.
You're like, you didn't tell me it was gonna be a kid. This sucks. He can't smoke weed.
You have to raise it. Oh, that's funny. You have to raise it to the
Yeah,
age. So you're
by
like,
the
you're
time-
72 and he's
By the time
finally
he's
30.
cool, you're like, I'm too sleepy to do anything with you.
You go
That's
to
just
bed.
parenthood, folks.
Yeah,
As soon as they're homie age, you're like, I can't party
Dude,
anymore.
American Dad did that. They cloned the son, and then they both raised the separate son to see which one was a better parent, and they both suck. One of them became a psychopath killer, and the other one became like a lazy cunt.
My buddy Anthony's really getting into American Dad. He says it rules.
Really good, dude.
it's
if you
just
like
Family Guy in
yeah.
a different font. Yeah.
Well, this guy got into Family Guy during his surgery because you know how they just give you like whatever channels,
True.
and so like you've been on a Family Guy hype, which I fucking approve of.
Yeah, the
does
new
rock.
season's funny too. Yeah, like it took me being high on Dilaudid to understand
Yep.
Family Guy,
I'll
but
get
I
you
get
some-
it now. It's
I'll get
just
you
absurd
some.
as bullshit.
I'll get you some more so you can watch American Dad.
Oh, my surgery's coming up, bro.
Oh,
May
shit.
14th. What's up, bitches?
Family Guy does rock. Family Guy has some of the funniest cutaway bits or one-liners out of it. It's like a masterclass on how to
Yeah.
write a
They
stupid
actually
one-liner.
just started doing roasting cutaways. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're starting to just pull up pictures and they just roast somebody during an episode for no
It's
reason.
So funny. It's so funny. Like one of my favorite. I'd fucking reference this on a regular basis. When Chris gets a girlfriend, and it's the retarded chick, and she hugs Stewie, and Stewie goes, "I feel like you probably had a dog, but not anymore." I was like, "Yo."
What about that one line cutaway when we were at a comedy club and there was that comic on stage and he's like, yeah, my sister's a misogynistic asshole, and someone was like, guess it runs in the family.
Dude, that was the funniest. Oh my
I
god!
can't say who it was, but if I told you who it was, it'd make so much
It
more
sucks
sense.
when the audience
But-
is funnier.
It
than,
wasn't
like,
an
some-
audience. It was a fucking producer.
yeah, sitting in the back of the room,
Like-
like it was loud enough for just us to hear it,
No,
but it was
wasn't loud at all.
It was a
It was
whisper.
silent in the audience. It was silent because the joke bombed, and
Yeah.
then this person just hits the. Guess it runs in the family, and we are just like dying, and like that got a bigger pop from the audience than everything in this set prior.
That
It was so
sucks,
funny,
dude.
I worked with that guy again. Like this will be a few weeks out, but like last night, and pooh, dude, PU, dude. Oh my god.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's rough. I fucking so I bombed. I was hosting, so I was like probably gonna bomb, no biggie, because it's fucking hosting at this place is always like you're not. Nobody's there. Nobody gives a shit. in
Name
the beginning.
names, pussy.
No,
Name
no, no.
names.
It wasn't even bad. I just went into it knowing, like, all right, unless I come out with like fucking hard hitting, solid material, people who are still sitting down aren't gonna give a fuck what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I hosted, I bombed, and then this guy was like, it's my first time doing stand up. Very nice guy. And he's like, dude, if I do bad, I'm so sorry. I go, buddy,
Was this an
Don't-
open mic?
yeah.
Okay.
And so he was like, I've never done this, but if I'm doing bad, like, I'm sorry. He's like, I know I'm probably going to bomb. And I'm like, buddy, don't fucking stress yourself out for your first time. I just bombed. I'm fine. Truthfully, I was dying on the inside, but I wanted to make this guy feel better. And then he goes up, does amazing. And I'm like, yeah, man, fucking good for you.
Dude, in 10 years, that dude's gonna be so famous. He's like, yeah, my first open mic, the host ate shit because he fucking sucked. And then I went out there and ripped it.
Murdered my first time, dude. No, he was super fucking cool. I was happy for him. He had a good night and everybody was like talking to him after. But he went up and he's like, I didn't know nobody here wore shorts. And all the comics died, but all the
so
crowd was
funny.
like, "Those shorts are nice." So I was like, "Oh, this is a sweet dude."
Did he tell him it was his first time?
He did, but he didn't do it towards the end, and I was glad he didn't do that.
Pro move. I watched a comic one time. This is like a 5-year comic at this point. Go on stage to a dead fucking crowd, and he just goes, "Hey guys, this is my first time doing comedy," and I didn't mean to be loud, but I was just like, fuck you. And he turns and he looks at an audience member. He's like, did you just say fuck you to me? Oh. And he like immediately turns on them. But like he did it to get a pop at the beginning. And I was like, dude, fuck this guy.
Yeah, fuck
so
off.
Me and 6 other comics after him all said it was our first time too. And the crowd was just like, all right, bunch of new guys. And then we just like bringing A-list jokes just to rip it, just to be like, you're a piece of shit, dude. Fuck you, guy.
Hell yeah.
I love the unwritten rules of the stage. Don't wear shorts. Usually don't wear hats. Don't lie.
Dude, fuck it. You can wear a hat.
I don't really care about the hats. Some people say it.
You can wear shorts too. I mean, that's an 80s, 90s thing. Like people, there's people with specials wearing shorts in their specials. Ooh. I'm not saying that's me, but you can.
I want to see that.
Yeah, Ian Finance.
Yeah, I think the only rules for me is be original.
Yeah.
You know, I don't give a shit what you're wearing. I don't give a like. The stories don't have to be real if it's funny enough. Fuck it. You know,
I was
like,
gonna ask, what's your rule on that? Everybody always pushes that, like you got to be honest.
No, you don't.
I don't know, dude.
I am a liar.
I'm in the business of making you laugh.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't give a fuck. Like if the joke's funny but it's not real, what's more important?
If people genuinely thought that everything you said on stage was real, people wouldn't come up to you afterward and be like, "Hey, did this really happen?"
Yeah. No. Also, like,
do you lie to them then?
Are you trying to do a one-man show or are you trying to write a joke?
That's true.
You know,
brother?
like go speak your truth if you want to go do a TED Talk, but there's a place for that. You know, like
I always lie. I've been lying since I was bored.
I like that.
I don't
always
believe it.
lie.
Not buying it.
Not buying it. That's a lie.
That wasn't even a Zandy. That was a 1. You're like, got him.
Well, we got to go soon, but I wanted to tell you guys this funny story. I have a feeling you guys are going to have some words about this, but I was doing a gig at a casino and I found a new hobby of mine when I do casinos.
Are you gambling?
No, kinda. I call it hunting.
Wait, can you tell the audience about this room?
Wait, are you like the,
I can't.
Are you like the kid?
It's a shitty room, but you know, whenever I'm at a casino now, here's what I'm gonna do. If my buddies want to go, I was wandering around killing some time, and I saw a machine that had like 23 cents left on it, and I was like, cashed it out.
I know this move.
I started roaming around, and I started subtly noticing machines that had like 10 cents, 35 cents, one time 65 cents sitting on it. And I just fucking put the ticket in and cash out with the money and keep walking around listening to a podcast. Dude, I got up to $4. Just fucking walking around chipping up. I was walking around the high roller room. Someone left $1 on there. Dude. I swear to God, it was fun. Like, and I told a couple people, and they're like, "That's the most tweaker shit I've ever heard in my life." I'm like, I had to be there. It's not like I went to the casino to do that.
I will give you that is a pro move if you're already there. I have been on the other end of that, where like I'm bad at gambling. I really am, and I hate slot machines. And I've run out of money before all of my friends.
You're doing it to gamble,
dude. So I'm like, all my friends still have money. They're still playing. I'm like, well, I'm fucking bored, dude. If you're broke at the casino, that sucks. Yeah. And so I would walk around and I would cash out machines. I get $4 or whatever, and I'd throw it back in the machine and see if I could win something.
Just lose $4 more.
Dude,
like,
100%. I've never hit on it.
Dude, we gotta go gambling.
Dude, I was so stoned leaving the casino with my $4.11. I felt like a god. I felt like I hacked the system. I was like, you can just show up and do that?
Did you cash it out, dude? Did you go to the window and
make it? No, I went to the machine. I got my $4.11. I still have it in my wallet. It's right here, motherfucker.
Let's go, dude. Hit the money spread. Let's go.
Dude, this is what happens when you leave money in a machine, dude. What's up, bro?
Yeah. Some dude from Aberdeen snags it.
You're like real life
idiots.
acorns, dude.
Yeah, dude, suck on this, you idiots. All right, close us out, Crispin.
All right, this has been. Let's fucking give a thank you to Shad, dude. Thanks for coming
Yes.
out. To you being our first guest. You were a great guest.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
How
guys.
do we follow you on social media, my friend?
Shad Foster Joke on all social media platforms.
Where's your
that's-
next show?
This
In
comes
2
out in a couple of weeks. Let's see. We're doing the taste together. We're doing the Taste of Northwest.
Yes, that'll be great. That is
Tasting each
June
other.
28th
June 28th, and then
at noon at the Puyallup Fair.
Yep. And then the following weekend, the 4th of July weekend, I'm going to be working with Lisa Wallen at the the 6th Ave Comedy Club. So
Fantastic.
that's where I'll be. That's going to be a good time.
I'm really stoked for a couple gigs coming up. I'm going to be hosting for K. Trevor Wilson from Letterkenny at Spokane Comedy Club the 6th and the 7th of June. Make sure to come out to that. Also booked some Taste of the Northwest is what it's called.
Yes,
I'm going to
Taste
be
of
at the
Northwest.
Puyallup Fair the 27th, the 28th, and the 29th. So come by, see a bunch of awesome comedians, and check us out. Crispin, where are you going to be at?
I don't have nothing. I kept this month fucking light, dude, because I have that thing on the 24th. I'm just fucking doing the Flip Off Arcade, which I got to get Shad at hopefully soon.
Yeah, let me know. Dude.
But yeah, 24th show, we're doing fucking early advertisements. I'm trying to fucking boost those numbers up, which by the way, hopefully Mush will start boosting up too, because I cut a shit ton of clips.
Let's go.
Yeah, I was going to send them to review because a lot of them are you saying
Watch
funny
the clips.
shit.
Share the clips.
Yeah. Watch the clips, share the clips. Mush is going to the moon, baby, and you better get on or get the fuck out, baby.
Moonas.
All right. Close us out the only way we can, Crispin.
All right, this has been fucking Mush. Can't build us up, can't break us down. Don't fucking listen.
Mush in and out, baby.
Mm-hmm.